Peace. All right, we're going to finish this up. We're going to finish this teaching up. Hey, thank you everybody for the donation too, man. If anybody want to send a donation in, it's Cash App, $KG Bay. Like I said, it's a couple people that still depend on me because I am their divine minister. And like I said, I'm not going to deprive my family that's all over this world. But like I said, if you like what I'm saying and I'm ministering to you, man, a small donation. I mean, how hard is that? You know, if you was in the physical temple here, no matter if you was a student or not, you would give a donation coming to the Sunday lessons and the ministry, I'm sure. That's all. I mean, that's all we do, man. That's what we're supposed to do. But give me 1 second, Morris. But like I be telling Morris, man, these teachings of Morris science, if it don't do nothing for you, man, it should make you a better Moor. I mean, this is no being a Moor a part and understand who you are. This is no street game. Don't nobody owe you anything. Like I tell Moors, man, a lot of individuals and a lot of fashion groups have gave just Moors a bad taste in individuals' mouths. Especially when they see Moors and they talking crazy and they pulling out them goofy ID cards on people. Like that means something. And our prophet said, your ID is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be severe consequence. And a lot of the severe consequence is Moors being looked at as domestic terrorists and they're going to jail. I tell y'all, they got a task force of this black sovereign citizen goofy stuff. And it's a lot of Moors on there that you might have thought you saw on Instagram, because I be seeing who Moors be following. I be cracking up. I'm like, man, I be like, hey, you will see. So a lot of times when you associate with something, you can fall guilty of the association. But Moors think everything is fake and a conspiracy theory. But when it come down to somebody being looked at as a domestic terrorist, and you have friends and everybody, they will identify you as being part of their group. I'm telling you, man, this is what I know. I go everywhere. I see things. I know people, and I'll be like, oh, they be like, oh, here go the clean glass. You know what I mean? I explain more science everywhere eloquently. Anybody ask me about Moorish science and my national headdress and me being a Moorish American and I'm not Negro, black, and colored, and what the 3/5 clause is and what being a complete 5/5 was all about, and the 13th and the 14th and the 15th Amendment and what was buried. Oh man, I love to have a conversation with everybody on that. Oh, I'll take my time. Because I love what I do. It don't matter. My empress will tell you. My mom will tell you. My dad will tell you. We might be somewhere and somebody have a conversation. We might have to be there for 30 minutes to an hour. Especially if they think they know something. And these are other people trying to tell us who we are. And when you let them know, then they shut down. Because they are sons of Muslims. I'm telling you. And they wear things religiously, politically. But when you come as who you are, knowing who you are legally and lawfully, all they're going to do is bow down. They're going to shake your hand. That's what I do. I love to let you know who I am. I'll tell you who I am all day long. I'm not your Negro. I'm not black. I'm not colored. I ain't your homeboy. I ain't none of that. I'm a Moorish American. That's what I am. That's what I am when it comes down to this. Nope, I'm not nice. Nope, I'm not humble. See, Negroes always get you with those lower self connotations. Well, humble yourself. That's what they tell you. Humble yourself, young man. You can't know nothing. You need to be humble. No, you don't. You need to be noble. You need to be upright. You need to be knowledgeable. You need to be honorable. You don't need to be no damn humble, and you don't need to be nice. Research what nice mean. You don't need to be none of that. And I'm not none of that. And you don't need to be neither. You must be honorable and upright. You must operate in love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and my 2 cents, health and wealth. You must understand who you are eloquently. You should be willing to stand strong at all times. And you're not by yourself. That's why I tell Morris, why do you want to be by yourself? Or you want to be the only person that you're not by yourself. That's why I tell Morris, when Morris talk about they doing something, or they going to get in trouble with the law or whatever, and I say, where everybody that's represented that can speak on your behalf? Why you didn't even have counsel before you went in there with that goofy stuff? If you would have had counsel, you would have been able to defend yourself the right way. But see, we don't. We listen to what people say, and we pick up a black laws, and we get our butt handed to us. And we ain't had no counsel with nobody. Like my dad always say, who you talking to? My dad always say, who you counseling with? My dad said, that because you put a fez on mean nothing? Or you think you done picked up a black laws and you ain't had no sound counsel with nobody that understand this law and that study this law, that operate, that tell you in your who have you in your best interest? What are we? What are we? What are we? Why we're not willing to be taught by our own brother? Why? 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 We talk about somebody that have your best interest. We got to be willing to say, no, I don't know. And then when Morris get in trouble, they talk about they going to represent. I'm like, where the people that speak on your behalf? Where your body? Where the counsel that counseled you before you even went in there with that garbage? If I would counsel Morris before they went in there, they would have never went with that garbage. Because you can have your legal rep, the person that's in your best interest. This is law. I'm going to show y'all the stuff. Oh, I forgot to even show you. I'm going to show you all the cases for the laws that you can practice law. So why you say you part of some temple and you wearing your fez and you go into the court or the arena and you can't even defend yourself in law? You're going to go in there and talk about some black laws. You're not down with the counsel. You ain't even willing to be counseled by a body of legal counsel. Why? Why? I'll wait. Why? I'll wait. Because to have this black fez, if we're going to be absolute and matter of factual, this black fez means you can defend yourself and honor yourself. Not nobody. I said you can defend yourself. You must be able to defend yourself where? In all law. In the all world. You must be able to defend your degree eloquently through the law with a silver tongue. And I'm able to do that. My tassel 24 inches. They just kicked you out of school. Didn't tell you what the tassel represented. They didn't tell you that the fez and a graduation cap both have 360 degrees. It's just a different parameter. They didn't tell you that this fez and this tassel represented wisdom. I break this whole fez down. So somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. Morris, let's have this conversation. See, these are the things we must talk about. We want to wear things and just represent and look and like it's fashion. And then when it's time to represent something or somebody in a situation, you can't even give them sound counsel. You can't even give them precedent in cases. You talk about what somebody did, talk about what you can do, and you ain't did nothing. That's a hypocrite. And that's a law. A law can point. A leader leads by example. That's what a leader does. A leader leads by example. A law can just point. If you know something, I'm a teacher. I teach. Come on, man. So the fez cap, and I'm going to give y'all this law. I'm going to break some stuff down. I already told y'all how you can wear your fez in court. I already showed y'all how they tried to convict him and tried to lock him up for 2 days and make him pay $2,000. But he should have been matter of factual and gave the laws to where it'd be like, hey, you ain't even finna try this. Even more is at work that talk about, they say that you can't wear your fez at work or your turban. And I say, who told you that? That ain't law. Somebody told you. That ain't no law. So stop lying on the law. But the fez cap, though a Turkish headgear, was at a time considered to be a symbol of Muslim identity, as it suggests by the so-called fez controversy of 1905 and 06, when the noted Moor leader and advocate MC Abdul Qadir was prohibited from entering court with the fez, pursuant to a notice published in the local newspaper by the Fez Committee. A largely attended and representative mass meeting of the Muslims of Ceylon was held on Sunday, the 31st of December, 1905 at 4 p.m. in the open air at the Miranda Mosque grounds, Colombo, to protest against the action of the Supreme Court of the island, which prohibited Mr. Abdul Qadir from appearing in court with his usual Mohammedan Mohammedan headdress, the fez. Now, remember what I told you, the law works. You must defend the constitutions. Oh, somebody gonna tell you something and you gonna roll with it. Yep. You must petition the courts legally. It's your right, your human right. After demonstrations in Colombo and in other parts of the island, the Supreme Court permitted the wearing of the fez in court. I'm gonna show you groups of Ceylon Moors at Michigan Library. I told you everything can research. Everything was recorded. So how can somebody say a scholar and they ain't gonna give you precedent in cases? I can give you every precedent in law case of everything because I have a real library. But groups of Ceylon Moors at Michigan Library in 1190, notice that they are wearing a mixture of Surat Tapis and Turco Tapis, or different type of fez and different type of headdresses. Look, y'all see that? I know y'all see that. Somebody say Islam, man. This should be inspiring. Man, I'll show y'all so many pictures. Even the chosen people. When I show you our Moorish Israelite, when I show you how the turban was worn in so-called black churches by the magical workers, the magical workers of the East. It say the magical workers of the East. What you think the magical workers of the East is? The Silent Brotherhood. They wore, when you saw brothers in turbans back in the day, going in all them churches things, those were the magical workers of the East. They were trying to tell them Negroes, stop teaching that European gospel. No disrespect. I'm trying to tell you. I'll show you pictures. If my empress if she would be real kind, as I'm demonstrating and get my book, The Chosen One, I can show you. I'm setting her up.
Why you setting me up?
I think it's under there. It's a book called The Chosen One. If it's not in there, it might be in the other one. So now watch this. I'm finna give you a law case. Watch this. It's like a paperback, my love. So watch this. Lawyers and attorneys are not licensed to practice law. Listen to this. All lawyers and judges have membership under the American Bar Association, which is a conflict of interest when it comes to being qualified in law. If a judge or a lawyer ever says to you that you have to be licensed and to go to law school and pass the bar to be able to practice law, you can just tell them that the Supreme Court ruled that the practice of law cannot be licensed by any state. Case Shaw versus Board of Examiners, 353 U.S.238-239. Or you can also say that the practice of law is an occupation of common right. Research the case Sims versus Ahern, AHREN 271 capital S dot capital W dot 720 1925. Y'all hear what I'm talking about, Morris? If it ain't in there, babe, it might be over there. Thank you. Thank you. I've been acting like Martin. You remember on Martin when he was acting sick? You were like, babe. I'm like, it's my solar return. I need everything. Y'all know I'm crazy. But the American Bar is an offshoot from London Lawyers Guild and was established by the people with invasive monopolistic goals in mind, Morris. Yep. In 1909, they incorporated treacherous groups in the state of Illinois and had state legislature, which was under the control of the lawyers. They passed an unconstitutional law that only members of this powerful union of lawyers called the ABA could practice law and hold all the key positions in law enforcement and making of laws. But if you know in law, I can show you. Remember, it was written in law that an attorney cannot run for political office. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? It was written in the law. But think about that. When at that time, Illinois became an outlaw state, and for all practical purposes, they succeeded from the United States of America. And the Bar Association then sent organizers to all the other states and explained to the lawyers how much more profitable and secure it would be for them as lawyers to join this union and be protected by the bylaws and canons. And they issued the lawyers in each state a charter from the Illinois organization, and California joined in 1927. And a few reluctant states and their lawyers waited until 1930 to join with the Treacherous Act. And they became the de facto, and the citizens became captive. Under this system, the lawyers could guarantee prejudice decisions for the privileged class against the lower class. Are y'all following where I'm going with this? So I'm gonna show y'all some more science. When I tell y'all it's a connection, nobody's not gonna tell you about the Moorish Israelite because they're not scholars. I'm trying to tell you. Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna show y'all a picture. I'm gonna show y'all a couple pictures. When I said, what were we teaching, man? We were teaching our babies Hebrew or Moorish Latin, whatever you want to call it. Because all the language match up if you understand language and if you understand linguistics and you're not operating from hate and you call yourself some scholar or some sheik or some adept. I'm like, what you an adept of? What you a sheik? What you a sheik of? You won't even wear your fez. Watch this, y'all. See this picture? Look at this picture, y'all. Ooh, my, look at the brother. Look at the brother. I'm gonna show y'all some more pictures. Look at the brother. What that brother got on his head? That brother got that turban on. Y'all see that brother with that turban? Looking all clean. He got that suit from the Moorish haberdasher. He got that suit from me, y'all. I hooked him up, measured him all up. Boom. He got his turban from me, from his brother. Let me read this to you. This is an old picture, though. Rabbi 4 in a turban. Turbans were commonly. Do y'all know what commonly mean? Commonly mean all the time. Every time you see a brother in the so-called church, if he was a magical worker or a spiritual worker from the East, he had that turban on his head. So let's finish. Rabbi 4 in a turban. Turbans were commonly used in black spiritual churches and signified the mystical East when used by black religious magical workers. So let's change black. Let's read it over. Wait, before I even go there, don't y'all know in the Bible, the followers of Yahshua wore a turban with a jewel on it? It was a certain wear that the Hebrews wore from their gird, from all their colors, from their bonnets. Bonnets in the biblical scriptures too. Bonnet connotated as kufi. Same thing. Turban is in the biblical scriptures. Don't you know? Don't you know? Now let me read this better. And I'm going to put Moorish on it. Rabbi Ford in a turban. Turbans were commonly used in Moorish spiritual houses. I'm putting the right words on it. And signified the mystical East when used by Moorish religious magical workers or Moorish spiritual magical workers. Reproduced from B.Z. Goldberg, a Negro Briss. It was in the Brenton magazine, New York, page 41, October 11, 1927. 1927. So when somebody talk about some old time religion, our prophet was telling us, this is the uniting of Asia. Nobody's not going to tell you about the Moorish Israelite. I'm going to tell you, we brothers. We all family. Them Negroes done got you caught up in some outside religion. They believe in some damn God outside of yourself. That's not Moorish science. And if we can't bring our brothers out of shallow grave, we're not finna argue with no religion. We understand the essence. We know where we at. We know where we at. We know we in New York. New York ain't got love for death row. Hey, it's my solar return. But y'all feel what I'm saying? If you an adept, you're supposed to know this science. Look at these brothers. Let me tell you, I'm going to break some more science down. Rabbi Mordecai Herman and the Moorish Zionist Temple of the Moorish Jews. What did he just say? Rabbi Mordecai Herman and the Moorish Zionist and the Moorish Zionist Temple of the Moorish Jews in 1920 Harlem. Don't I tell y'all everybody kill you or bury you and then they steal your identity? Photographed by James Van Der Zee and Donna Moosden Van Der Zee. And I'm finna show y'all something. In the back, it say the Moorish Zionist Temple of the Moorish Jews. I tell y'all, the real Jew and the real Igbo is who? The Nigerian from Niger, the Igbo and the Igbo. I demonstrated this plenty times. Now I'm finna show you a picture. I'm about to show you a picture. Look at them brothers. Look at them brothers. Let me show y'all. Let me get back. I think I'm blind in the picture. I'm going to show y'all some prophetic stuff in here that Moors ain't even see. I'm going to show you some prophetic stuff so you never get it twisted. And you could never let nobody with their westernized pseudo-academia or their Negro peeing bullcrap about history and world history. Now watch this. In the back of this picture, you're going to see the so-called the American corporate flag. And in the back, you're going to see the so-called Israel flag. Now I'm going to give you history. This picture was taken in 1920s. Israel wasn't created as a country, a state, whatever you want to call it, until the 1940s. Y'all got to understand that, right? What you say, the ancient Egyptian order of the mystic shrine. Our prophet was a part of that. The unifying of the... I showed y'all that. I showed y'all that the book where I think I got it in my bag. Remember Morris, I demonstrated plenty of times. I showed y'all, no disrespect, how the Europeans try to say they the ancient rites, and I showed you their literature came in the 40s, and our literature, when the prophet came within the 1800s, I think I got it in my bag. I got it here. I'll demonstrate that another time. But I show and improve. That's right. Morris don't want to accept this science. But watch, I'm going to show y'all in the back of this. You're going to see that flag that Israel they got from you. Y'all see that? And I tell y'all, Israel wasn't created a state, country, whatever you want to call it, until the 1940s. Well, if that's the case, this in the 20s. This in the 20s. This in the 20s. This in the 20s. The 20s. Look. Look at that. Man, you should be having, that's the holy, man, you should be trembling. The little bump should be up your skin. This the stuff you should be sharing with your babies when they come with that pseudo academia, and they be like, well, contraire, mon frere. You know, like that's not right. You know, I think somebody is pulling a sham on us, Scooby. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell y'all, man. What did the second president Nasser tell us? The reason why Israel is cursed? Because God's children left black and came back white? I'm paraphrasing. You ain't got to get mad at me. All you got to do is research it. Don't get mad at me. I'm just a historian. Rabbi Ford and the BBA choir in front of the BBA storefront in Harlem, June 30th, 1928. The original caption for this photo said that the congregation is gathered from all parts of Africa and also from South America and West Indies. Man, this is the uniting of Asia. In addition to his religious duties, Rabbi Ford conducts a vocal and instrumental music group. Particular attention being given to the Hebrew and the Arabic melodies. The uniting, bringing us together, man. I keep telling you, we set triple like we some damn Crips and Bloods. What the hell wrong with us? What the hell wrong with us? What the hell wrong with us? I show y'all in the history books, man. We must know how to defend it. I show y'all in history. I showed y'all Thomas Jefferson Quran. I showed y'all when the Sultan came to Washington and what he brought, the flower. And that's the flower that they grow in Washington. And they tell you that this came from Morocco. I show y'all all these stuff. Man, that's what I be saying. I don't know what Morris be talking about. I don't know. I don't know. Look. This is the United. Look at the brothers and sisters. They wear their hairdressers. Who gonna tell you what hairdress to wear? All of the hairdressers are ours. This one nationality with many cultures. Come on, man. Y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping. Tripping. Look at the brothers. Look at the brothers like when I wear my stole. Like when y'all saw my graduation picture, I have my stole on. I know who I am. It's just other niggas don't know who they are. This is all me. This is all us. But we don't understand it. We don't understand it because we won't be educated. We won't be educated on the Gnostic teachings and the synchronicity. We're just going to let some Negro get us in some, talk about, I'm part of the temple, read some old ass bylaws, arguing of how the temple was set up and what this is and what that is. What is this? I'm trying to tell you, it's a clickbait. I keep telling y'all, man, people double talk. Man, it's a thing in politics called double talking. I keep trying to tell you, if you don't have an acute ear, and if you're not a linguistic, one of the Masonic tricks is to tell you the truth right in your face, but just said in a fashion where you think I'm joking. I'm trying to tell you Moors this, man. If Moors gonna talk about the Moorish Israelite and that 18th dynasty, you don't know about that legacy, something's wrong with us. Something is wrong with us. Something is mentally, man, I know Moors don't read their Moorish Quran because I say you priests of Kafisdu, this Hebrew deity. This Hebrew God is the deity of Allah. This is what our teachers say. We're under the Hebrew diet. I don't know what Moors talking about. When I started teaching from our silent brotherhood of the East, I don't understand what Negroes be talking about. I told Lamar one day, dissing anything, I said, I bet you $1,000 if you can show me in any scripture where it says that our Messiah, and some Bible said that the Messiah is a European. I said, because that's what your mom and them taught you. And that's that Negro propaganda. Don't lie on no text. Don't lie on the law books. Because we can sit down and open it all up. It ain't nowhere in no damn biblical scriptures where it says that the Messiah is white. Show me. I'll bet anybody $1,000 right now. Show me the words in the scripture where it says that your Messiah is white. Show me. You can't. You can make some bull crap up and you can lie. But I can show you in the scripture where it says, and I'm paraphrasing, when you put your hand in his bosom, your skin with a certain color. And he said when he put his hand in his bosom and put it out, it came out white as leprosy. But then when he put it back in, it came back out. It was back to his natural color. So anybody with a little bit of elementary damn sense know if I put my hand in a person's bosom, and this is an analogy, and pull it out, and it was white as snow, then put it back in and pull it out, and the skin came back to its original color. Well, my God, it should tell you that your skin wasn't white off the damn rip. Now, was you purple, gray, orange, green? May have you, but you damn sure wasn't leprosy. And this is simple science. It's nothing to argue with. I tell people, this is God's law. If the world didn't want to know about it, why the hell they wrote it? It's for us to interpret it. This shit is God's law, and they know it. I bet any more $1,000 to talk about some Jesus, some white man. I said, show me that picture. Ain't nobody who told you that picture. Oh, you gonna let your big mama tell you that's a picture of Jesus, and I tell you, okay, well, why they all look different? Why they all look different? That's Caesar Borgia. That's Caesar Borgia. From in the Italian perspective, and in the Greek perspective, it's Alexander the Greek, Serapis Christos. Now what? Now what? It's just what it is. Ain't nobody stop lying. And ain't no picture of no Muhammad. Ain't none of that. Muhammad is the zodiac, the sun in the middle with the astrological signs around it. Telling you, man. So what we talking about? What we talking about? Our prophet told us the old Moors got to sit down, and the new generation, to the scholars, we need to teach the right thing. This ain't no dead teaching. Look at this. You talk about what nobody don't. Look what these babies was learning in school. What you think they was learning? Look what these babies learning. What I said, and then we talk about we Moors, and we send our babies to school and come home and talk about the schools ain't teaching them nothing. And I said, well, we got the right to educate. If the laws work for us, we supposed to be teaching our babies. It ain't no other body, purpose, or reason to be teaching your kids any damn thing. It's for our so-called scholars. You say you're a Moor scholar? Well, we should be supporting the brother, and we should be teaching. After they come from school, they need to be under the temple, learning. That's what this is about. But our ego, every other organization, every other religious house, they're taking all our rules and who we are, and they living. And we here steady acting like we don't have the keys to salvation because we arguing with each other like some dumb Negroes with some damn dunce hats on. I'm just telling that, hey, because that's how most of the Negroes with Feds on are looking. I'm telling you, they're looking like some domestic terrorists. Anybody that get on here that say anything about the United States of America and they don't know the law, you are looked at on the watch list as a domestic terrorist. And I tell you, you ain't part of me because I defend the Constitution. Everything about me and you is in the Constitution. The laws work. Prove me wrong. You can't. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I tell every Negro black, especially Moors, that's operating like some domestic terrorists. I say, man, you a liar and a sinner. You're not right. I'm going to walk past you. I don't want to shake your hand. I don't want your negative ass cheat on me because you don't know the Constitution. And who we are is wrapped up in the Constitution. Point blank, period. And the Moors and the study of self, you know? We know who made us, Allah. To whom do we refer to at times as being the great God? Allah. Can we see him? No. What is truth? Truth is aught. And aught is Allah. What other name do we give truth? The holy breath. Where is the nearest place to meet him? In our heart or the third eye? The Moors with the third eye. Listen, our prophet said, Moors or the young Moors. Now, young, we ain't talking about, he talked about the Moors maybe before, the ones that's coming. The Moors in the new dispensation with their third eyes wide open would be the ones to enforce his laws, which is nothing but the Constitution. And the old Moors must take a seat in the back because we are going to have to take these principles and straighten out our other brothers in Islam in the East. They have gone astray and have accepted demons from afar and are now at war against themselves. And it goes without saying that The only thing a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew will accept will be a higher, adept teaching of what they already have faith in. Because we're not destroying nothing. Now you follow me. If you think you a Negro, these teachers should bring you out of that shallow grave. Because I'm coming in love. I'm synchronizing things. If you a Magi, if you adapt and you study the teachings of Abraham the Magi, all these secret teachings, you will know that you don't have to come from under nothing. You must bring the essence out. I'm trying to tell you, man. Because this science synchronizes. None of the teachings support anything except of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And that's the 5 highest principles known to man. He is pure and clean in a nation per se, and about to unfold Moors. We will live by the powers of the life givers. When we talk about the as above, so below, and I tell Moors that's more than just a catchphrase. When we say Islam, the word Islam is Arabic for the word peace. Yet peace is like most other principles of life. It has become destinized here in the West or placed in a certain box per se. Peace itself is infinite and in existence before the Arabians were a thought. Peace is Allah, the great God and the divine mind. Peace has no patterns, false, nor expression Moors. Right? Peace is pure and is no way related to war, oppression, or strife. We don't fight things with being angry. Love conquers all. And if we love what we're doing, we can rise above the garbage because we don't have to deal with it. Because I can love things enough to step the hell away from it. Y'all don't hear me? I love me more than anything else. I love my family more than anything else. I can let all the rest of the crap go. But their forefathers, the original African man, were their first, that's where we use peace. Most people, including some Muslims, equate peace as the opposite of war. That's bullcrap. The opposite of war, and my understanding of my science, is indifference. Right? But this is an unbalanced concept and a grave misunderstanding of the word peace. Peace is the ordained harmonies of the universal order and of life. We must operate in peace. That's why I always say peace, 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 peace. When I do a lot of things, I'm peace because I'm bringing a manifestation of peace in my every essence because I'm a more all the time. Peace is the state of security found where the divine laws are enforced. And it is the tranquility and the freedom of all living things being themselves. If you don't have peace, you're not yourself. I have peace. Peace. Doesn't that flow off the tongue so eloquently? Peace. War and strife are man-made weaknesses and conditions. There is but one true peace, and man must grow inward to return to that peace. When I talk about in our science, when I teach more of this adept wisdom, when I talk about that pendulum swinging the same way to the left as it does to the right, and when you operate in your higher self, your pendulum don't have to swing that way because you control that pendulum swing. Also, when we use an analogy about the thermostat, at what degree does the thermostat go hot and cold? We don't know. You see? You got to understand the source. So true peace, like Allah, is one and is found only in man's conquered self, or the death of the Lord self per se, as an analogy. War and peace are related only from a finite point of view. And this is why the carnal man from the lands of the fallen humanity, they must have strife before peace. Yet like shadows are reflections caused by light Moors, so is strife caused by peace Moors. Peace and light exist without war and shadow. Peace is not found in pain, misery, or in the muzzle of a gun. So how can you have peace and you want war? I tell all Moors, we should want peace and righteousness and the nation build the same way somebody want to destroy. And if we're not having that same energy, you a waste of space. If you say you are Moor, you understand who you are, and you're not sharing these teachings with your family, and you want to have the same anxiousness and anxiety to build, just like a person want to destroy and have war, you playing. That's why I said I operate in vibration. I know who's serious and who not. By what's going on. When school starts, more is going to come up with a million excuses. Well, I can't find you, Noble. I know. Because I know if you're serious or not. Only with the swift sword of wisdom can place the sabers of human knowledge into the shield of peace. Ironically, Moors, other nations of Europe have sought peace at the end of a weapon. We know this stuff. Even Yeshua calls this type of peace the peace of death. When he was asked, are you indeed the Prince of Peace? When you look in the life, the works, and the teachings of Yeshua, I'm telling you, man, what is our Moorish American religion? Because I'm almost done. Our religion is Islamism. Is it a new religion? Absolutely not. It's old. These are yet two more of the 101 Quran questions for the Moorish Americans found in our prophets' questionnaires. There is one golden cord of divinity which unites all questions and their answers. However, Moors, right? However, for a good understanding, one must have love and knowledge of history and reliance upon Allah. Like when I tell Moors, I don't give a damn how many books you got. These books don't mean a damn thing. You can read a million. Oh, I got to get my cuss jar. I got to get my cuss jar. I ain't cursed yet, though. I ain't cursed. Freaking is not a curse. I said freaking. I said freaking.
You cursed before.
No, Sean.
You ain't hear me say.
No. I did. How many? All right, I got 2. All right, now. But it's knowledge and history. You know what I'm saying? We must have love of true knowledge. Every nation with free national standards is entitled to their forefathers' creed and independent religious path to the great God. Our rituals, customs, prayers just fall under religious laws. Our prayers, songs, and methods of practice are formed in a measure of suitable to their salvation. All the Asiatic nations rooted in Africa have a divine origin. This is now Moorish Quran, chapter 45. I keep telling Moors, these are the religious laws. They protect us. You don't know that? You're going to let somebody tell you some goofball Negro peeing stuff, and I say research the religious laws. Research your right of a nationality. Research what nationality is. Research proclaim, declaring due process. This is the best time to be a Moor. The so-called census finna come out. What Negro, blacks, and color gonna put on there? Ooh, what Negro? This is a good question. Oh, yep. Let me start right. This is a good question. I'm glad. This is a good question right here. Bam. The census gonna come out right now. The census getting ready to come out right now. So bam, the government finna send you something in the mail. It got Negro, African American, black, Hispanic, white, whatever else on there. What you gonna put? What you gonna put? What you gonna put? Watch this. What you gonna put? Be real. Be real. If you say you don't, just be real. What do the common person do? The common person, you know what you gonna do. Watch. Everybody gonna say, I'm gonna pick this. What you gonna pick? Just be honest, Morris. I want to see this and watch this. And then we going to proceed because I got about 20 more minutes. So what would we say? Because this is the best time to be a Moor right now to understand who you are because the laws protect you. Now the census is ready to come out. They're going to send you something in the mail. It's going to have you to what you going to put. How you going to do it though? How you going to do it? How you going to see? He laughed. I'm Latino. Misnomer. I did genetically. You're not a Latino. You're not an African. You're not none of that. You're not a Hispanic. You say, I'm going to make me. Yeah, but how are you going to do it? It got to be other stuff. That's why it's some Moors on here that follow me, that know, because I say this all the time. But how would you do it the right way? Because Latino, that ain't nothing. If we are the Americans, the copper colored races found here by the Europeans, the copper colored races is in general. But who are we specifically as the copper colored races? So they done tribal warred us and they split us all up and try to make us the minority. Well, minority got to do with a damn kid. Ain't nothing minor about us. And that's what I want more to say, not sure. That's what I like. Islam, brother Marcel L. Eyes, when we do things and we just make something up, we will what? Convict ourselves. When we just make shit up and then we don't do the stuff the legal the right way, it ain't valid. It ain't valid. I don't care what we do. If it ain't done the right way, the legal way, to be like, this is how the proper documentation should be done legally, it don't mean hog to the wash. You will not be counted. So I'm glad you said I'm not sure. I'm glad you said you're not sure, because it's a way we do things the right way. I just told you about proclaim, declare, and have due process. I just told you have a right of a nationality and a right to claim the nationality. No one will be arbitrarily denied a right of a nationality. So that's the first thing you should have did, figured out, how do I do this legally and lawfully? The Moorish Science temples are supposed to be set up the right way. The AA2 number means 30,000. We can be re-identified as a people. But Obama told us this, so how should we do it? So the census is getting ready to come. The census is getting ready to come. This is the best time for you to identify and proclaim. Because I tell people, you can ask any of your ancestors, you are not Latino, you are not Mexican, you are not none of those misnomers. You are indigenous to this land. You are native to this land. Specifically, you are a Moor. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if somebody, because they black as hell, they're trying to say, oh, there ain't no more. He a lie and a sin. Just because the color of your skin don't have nothing to do with your nationality. It's the blood running through your veins. You got to be a damn fool if you believe in something. And damn ain't a cuss word. I can mean damn the river. Down the river. She said that ain't the context. So, back to what I'm saying. What you must do. If you can proclaim, declare, and have due process, why would you just pick anything and you're not on there? Because that's what Negroes do. This is the best time to be a Moor. This is the best time. They sending out stuff for you to self-identify. Who told you got to do something? If I put stuff on there and you claim it, I just told you who the heck you were. You just convicted yourself of what? Being a slave, being a Negro, a Mexican, a Latino, an Indian. And that ain't specific. You must take the box. You must put Moorish America, and you must put your all rights reserved, and you must use your B and your L, which is the law. Which is the law. I be telling Moors they don't know how to navigate. They be going places acting all angry. Man, you can have all your license with your B and your L. I tell Moors how you navigating, how you going to speak eloquently in love. You can go in there and add your religious suffix, because if you know the duality of the religion of it, you would be able to do it in harmony. Nothing be happening. My degree said Hakeem Goodman Bay. My master's. I don't know what Moors be talking about. I don't know. Y'all Moors be losing me. I be like, man, what are you talking about? That ain't no law. You lying. You can put your B and your L on anything. You got to be crazy if you don't believe that. If you don't know that, then something wrong. That's why I tell Moors, we're not ourselves. We must self-identify. I tell Moors, proclaim, declare, and due process. They don't even know what that means. Proclaim, declare, and due process. For the record, Your Honor, this is who I am. I'm proclaiming my nationality. I know who I am. You break the law down. You boom, 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 boom. I have self-identified. Also, the law, would Obama break down the right of a nationality and the right to claim it? No one will be arbitrarily denied. You break things down for the record, Your Honor. Our religion is Islamism. That's what our religion is. You know? You got to understand that slaves do not have choices. And the whole is especially true for those labeled blacks and Negroes. When I tell y'all about the black Christian codes, man, we couldn't even be around each other. We couldn't even talk. It's so much. You couldn't even marry. That was why when Abraham Lincoln, before he was the president, he was a lawyer, and he was defended the Moor in court. He was like, I ain't no Negro or black, because if you're a Negro or black, you can have land, you can have no wife. He's like, I ain't black. He like, man, I'm a Moor. Y'all got me twiggity twisted. No damn black, no damn Negro. I'm a Moor. You got me twisted. And I'm going to defend myself in a court of law. You got me twisted. Therefore, Christianity, which as a native of the Kemetic Egyptian, the three-step picture from man to God. That's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 7, verse 25 to 31. I hope y'all writing this down. It was forced upon them, and the true teachers of the prophet Moses, Solomon, David, Yeshua, and other Egyptian adepts were translated through Hellenistic Greek. When I talk about the Hellenistic language, who's the Hellenist? When I break it down in the dictionary, the Greek language, I'll break it down. Who the Hellenist? You've been lied to. 4000 BC to 4th AD. By who? Alexander the Greek, Aristotle, Plato. I'm telling you. They could decipher from their lying eyes. They couldn't decipher nothing. I'm telling you. They couldn't. You had to be told. I told you all about the stolen legacy. I documented. Go on YouTube and watch it before it be gone. By the time of the hoax of the Greek philosophy was poisoned into the Roman Catholic order, it gave birth to Christianity, Moors. Don't get mad at me. The majority of the modern day Christianity, as it is currently advertised as the word of God, is forced upon an array of cultural misnomers of ancient Moorish civilizations, especially Egypt, which was the capital empire of the dominion of Africa. That's in chapter 47 of your Moorish Quran. It must be clearly understood that by 500 AD to 200 AD, the Greeks didn't know a damn thing. They were too worried about trying to damn survive. They were trying to be worried about civilized. Come on. The Egyptians were educating many Greeks before and after the invasion by Alexander the Greek. I'm telling you, being of Moorish descent, you got to understand this. He wasn't nothing but a Greek. It's just what it is. That's why I said, let them write their story. We write our story. If they're sons of Muslims, who the daddy? If they wear things in clandestine, you got to understand who you are and defend yourself. The Romans also added their seasoning to the religious dish of Christianity. And the Italians translated the Greek misnamings of Egypt science into Latin from the Roman Empire, the Roman Catholic Church, through the Renaissance and on into English language. And a people's language expressed the totality of their understanding and determines their prosperity more. That's why I say you must understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. That's why I say a prophet comes in the voice of the people. Why? So you will not be confused with the message that I was bringing. If anything, I'm coming with a different language, I got to teach you the language. So that means I'm a linguistics. So why the hell do you think you got to learn some other language before you can learn about the God in you? You done been lied to. You believing in some foreign God. Somebody done stripped you of your language and telling you to pick up another language. Man, go on with that bull crap. And if one language does not capture the essence of another language, then its truth would not be conveyed. I hope y'all follow what I just said. The accuracy and the timing will not be translations. Without truth, one is subject to deception and hypocrisy, or B to the S. Y'all know what I want to say, but I'm going to say B to the S. The original Bible was not the word of God, but in reality, it was the word of Greeks. And today's Bible is often called the word of God. And no one can tell it to millions of the faithful Negro, black, and colored people. Other than that, it is God's word. That's all they can tell you. Little do they realize the wage of inaccuracy and inaccurate history is a darkened future, as vividly revealed in other teachings. You got to understand that it was the Greeks, not God, who wrote the first Bible. The so-called black people are mere readers of the word and not as authors per se. But we destroy that. I destroy that. I show you, I destroy that because it was two councils of Nicaea. I'm telling you, we destroy that from scholarship. They only going to tell you about their story. But I'm going to tell you about your story, the Moorish story. Don't get it twisted. The Greeks misinterpreted slant to Moses' revelations of the ancient Egyptian mysteries. And they are a fair cry from the soul perfecting degrees of the ancient African words. That's why you got to understand the necessity when studying history. One must take into account all the surrounding times or that dispensation. Understand the people and the conditions in order to ensure the factual and the sureness of that history. And this is why the Muslims teach the Quranic Arabic to all Islamic converts, no matter their national tongue. And as a result, Moors, they will receive the full flavor of Allah's message through his holy prophet Muhammad. And there are many words in Arabic language that cannot be transliterated into English. Just like when I say, when people talk about they can interpret the Hebrew to English, man, depending on the context, man, a Hebrew word can mean 10 different things. You must know how to decipher it. Just like the Metaneder. I'm sorry, it's a long study. Just like Gematria in the Bible. That it's a code in the scriptures. When I break Gematria down, you be like, holy crap, it's a study. But it cannot be translated into English, Latin, Spanish without losing some or all of their potencies. The potencies is the real meats and potatoes, especially English, which is well known as the mutt or bastard language of the planet. You didn't know that, did you? We almost done, man. The history of the Moorish religion, man. It was Islamism, and it's the first creed. The fallen sons and daughters of Africa have borrowed a faith from foreign lands, and the God we serve or were serving is not our own. And this makes them a beggar people, and a beggar people can never produce the best in ourselves. That's why before these teachings were illuminated to us, a lot of Negro, black, and colored assumed the church and Christianity, which had been forced upon them during the time of slavery, was their own religion. And don't y'all got to remember when I showed y'all in the Protestant religion, just because you got, when Negroes thought they got baptized, they gave Negroes a certificate, and them Negroes thought they could take that to court. Talk about you free, you baptized, you one with God. They told them Negroes, you ain't nothing but a religious slave. Get the hell out of my courthouse before I hit you with the whip. I'm just telling you, I show you all the books, I show you all the science. They're like, yeah, we don't care about your religion. We forcing our God on you to make you a better slave. But you's not free.
You's not free.
Negro. No disrespect. Nah, I ain't hating. If that's the case, why did they make their God Blue Eye and all the angels this? The Lord and Savior Yahshua Christ, a Western name for Yahshua. Why did they switch it all? Don't be mad at me. They were correct from the slavery perspective of Negro, black, and colored. These religious tenets did in fact belong to slaves, for slaves, and about the earthly salvation of slaves. This is why, at best, when any slave has been saved or redeemed or reached salvation mentally, he or she will still be officially a Negro black if they don't understand who they are. What is our religion? Islamism. You got to understand this. You got to understand the truth. You got to understand that the truth is one must first be free before they can enter the gates of heaven. You got to understand that freedom is not attained through service of another man's God. And exactly, Moors, what church or Christianity has freed the Negro to be an anonymous nation of people? I ask Negro, blacks, and colored, what are they? And the first thing they say is Christian. I cringe. That's why we teach our Moorish brothers about our own religious creed, our own God, and the only true heaven. Every nation has its inherited religion, but we must first come to the realization we are indeed a nation, right? Don't y'all know in 1865, when U.S. slavery was abolished, the ex-slaves were without religion of their forefathers and subsequently being without their own religion. And we were blindly continue to serve the gods of their former masters. That's the 3/5 clause to make us complete fifth nationality and spirituality. And the abolishment of the institution of slavery in no way replaced the 2/5 nationality and divine creed. The denationalization from the Africans, which left them only a 3/5 of all other persons, Moors. And the church and Christianity having been forced upon them during that time, during their centuries of captivity. We got to understand that system during that time. And Islamism, as the world's first religious creed, was produced or pronounced Hotep. Hotep. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? We don't just say that for nothing. I told y'all words mean things. Hotep is the holistic science of study of peace. I hope y'all write that down. Hotep translates into the Arabic language as Islam. Islam became the Arabian name of the old-time religion, as it was perfected for Arabians by the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad, that's in Surah 5:3. See, we study everything if you are more. Then he chose Islam from the African ancient monotheistic science to the people of Havilah or Arabia, Havilah, also Arabia, when I show you on old maps, when I synchronize things, because they had strayed away from this straight way to Allah as taught by his African forefathers. His African forefathers, just like in the Bible, in the 1599 Geneva Bible, all through Jeremiah, what it says, Ed Menelik, the Blackamoor. You didn't know that, did you? In fact, Muhammad was a direct descendant of Hagar, the Egyptian goddess, which mothered Ishmael, the first true son of Abraham. You got to understand that. You got to understand the root of Hotep began millenniums before Kemet became the center of the world's greatest teachings and civilization. The name Kemet translates into Kingdom of God, Lord of the God, or God of gods, which modern man calls Egypt. And they refer to the creator as Odumer, or Netcher, Olodumare, or Netker, or Netcher, Netcher, Father of the universe, as brought to the Moorish Americans by our prophet Noble Joe Ali. Angels are true beings. When an angel, it ain't no angel in the sky, angels in the flesh. If I'm bringing you out of shallow grave, I'm your angel in the flesh. I'm your Messiah. We got to understand that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The station of an angel is a status held in harmony with its original creative destiny. When I say, when you understand your Akashic records, the only sin is us not living to our maximum capability. I'm doing what I'm created to do. Teach and lead people to a destination. We're trying to go somewhere. We are crystallized, right? Or we are celestials, thoughts of the great God. And we are often manifested in the flesh and filled with what? Melanin, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, the chemical makeup of man. An angel is the highest station of man, expressing the will of divinity. Kemetic adapts. Moorish adapts, like myself and others that teach the science. We are sent to various nations in need of realignment. When I tell us we have to get a flush and fill and reboot our hard drive, we have to realign ourselves and bring us back with the oneness of the most noted. Man. We got to be back to that oneness. This is the great God. That's why we are called angels. People talk about, oh, Noble Ali said he's God. No, he said, man, he's an angel in the flesh. We are Muslims, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. They made everything about you and made it magical. Y'all not listening to me. That's why it's called mythology. But this is called more science.
More science.
They were Muslims who will and can only obey the will of the great God. And the most noted angelic stations of the Africans were entitled Gabriel or Michael. This coming from your African history. I'm telling you, angels bring, defend, and teach messages to prophets that are necessary to redeem their nation. The message were always about Hotep or Islamism. So when somebody say Hotep, they telling you the synchronicity of God and man is one. They telling you. So when somebody say Hotep, or when I say Shalom Alakim, Alakim Shalom, or Assalamu Alaikum, Wa Alaikum Salam, all that. But when I say Hotep, you're supposed to say that with vibration. Hotep. The message always is about Hotep or Islamism. And the messengers were always olive-skinned brothers or sisters called angels. I'm telling you, I'm done. Islam by the numbers, man. This is the religious creed right here. This is our religious creed. Do you see this? In more science, we got to understand the essence of all the science so we don't fall trapped to one. This is synchronicity. You got to live this life. When I tell people, I'm my own sheikh, I'm my own scholar, I've been through the fire. I done been through all religious houses and stood strong with my square, with my parents right beside me. I stood in the midst of the belly like, hey, I ain't teaching this fake gospel. Like, you got to be crazy. When I was getting my degrees, I told them I ain't no disrespect European or no Greek. I said, I know who I am. They didn't like my candor, still graduated with honors. Even in the so-called goofy black churches, I stood in the belly of the beast. I said, this is not gospel. This ain't teaching no outside of ourselves. We ain't made in no damn sin. What the hell are you talking about? A part of us gotta die. Not that type of death. Ain't about nothing in you is evil. That's garbage. And then Islam, the same crap. Come on, man. I love everybody, man. I want everybody to become students. I will not deprive people for Sunday school. Cash App, $ KG Base, send donations for the lectures. The lecture is uploaded on YouTube. Check it out. Islam.